In recent times, there has been a rise in the number of Kickstarter projects that have come about as a result of a combination of developer and audience nostalgia, which when blended, can produce some good results. Koji Igarashi's Castlevania, for example, received a spiritual successor in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, as well as Wild Arms and Shadow Hearts, which are also receiving attention with the announcement of Armed Fantasia and Pennyblood. Though there have been several successful projects, along with others that may be considered less than ideal, today I want to look at the spiritual successor to the Suikoden series, Eiyuden Chronicle, which had a companion game, Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, released in May of 2022. Produced by Natsume Atari and published by 505 Games across multiple platforms, Rising sets the stage for what we are to expect in the upcoming Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. For the purposes of this review, I played the version that appears on Steam. Rising is a 2.5D side-scrolling action RPG where we take on the role of CJ, a treasure hunter who is looking for a rune lens that is bigger than the treasure her father before her discovered. Rune lenses are objects of contention amidst the people of the world, as they have the ability to harness power and allow a normal person to cast magic. For this purpose, they are highly coveted, and fetch a huge price for any that are lucky enough to find them. CJ's adventure takes her to Neveah, a town on the frontier of ruins where it is said that many treasure lay in abundance. In order to explore these ruins, the acting mayor extorts an exuberant fee for the privilege of exclusive access. Of course, our hero is broke, so instead is offered a choice of helping the town's citizens, which in turn earns her stamps that will eventually grant her the desired permit in the place of cash. Initially, CJ's adventures take her to areas around the village such as the Great Forest and the mines. However, she soon finds that there are obstacles that not even she can overcome. Joining CJ on her quest is Guru, an anthropomorphic Australian marsupial wielding a large blade, no, that is not a euphemism, and Isha, a humble user of magic who is often called rapacious due to her handling of the town's finances as its acting mayor. Though they all come from different walks of life, the three will need to set aside their differences and come together in order to solve the mystery of the ancient rune barrows, a set of ruins peppered about and beneath the town. As the story progresses, you learn that the rune barrows are said to be a place where a great warlock was sealed, and with the recent earthquake disturbing these ruins, strange sightings have been occurring. In addition to the problems faced by adventurers within the ruins themselves, bandits have also been on the rise, illegally entering the ruins without an exploration permit. These problems are ones that CJ and her friends must face, along with the initial ire of the townsfolk who just want to live simple, peaceful lives without the disturbance of outside factions, and a huge reluctance to the growth of the town's economy. I appreciated that Rising set a narrative for Neveah, which developed as the game progressed. I'm really hoping that the location appears within 100 Heroes, even if the rune barrows just ends up being like the Obel ruins from Suikoden 4. I want to check in on all the people I helped over the course of the journey. The game is broken up into two sections, dungeon exploration and town wandering. In the latter, you can go around to the various villages and undertake tasks for them, where upon completion, CJ will earn a stamp for her stamp card. Some of these tasks award experience, where others will cause a new store to open, or an existing one to upgrade. As a fan of the Suikoden series, and the fortress building aspect in particular, I love that as you completed tasks for the citizens of Neveah, the town became livelier, and more residents and adventurers would come and move about the streets. Once CJ completes a stamp card, the entire town will upgrade, changing the foot traffic and increasing the variety of races that you see walking around the town. Additionally, the music also changes, Suikoden style, and if this is any indication of what to expect in 100 Heroes, then I'm here for it. Whilst in Neveah, you can quickly teleport to any section of the town via the menu, which made the large amount of backtracking a lot more bearable. The various areas of the town have a variety of stores that you can use to purchase items for your adventure, as well as gain temporary status boosts, increase the durability of your character's weapons and armor, and gain different and more powerful runes for your rune lenses, which are necessary for progressing through the dungeon areas. One of my favourite services was the weapon shop, that allows you to increase the skill level of your weapon. Not only does it increase the character's attack power, but it also unlocks the ability to create a higher hit combo. When a weapon gets to a certain level, you can also rename it using a catalogue of phrases, allowing you to create unique weapon names that are like those that the characters in Suikoden bore. I really hope that my created weapon names for my characters carry over into 100 Heroes. That would be amazing. When you head into the dungeons, the game takes on a similar feel to a Metroidvania, except the areas themselves aren't all interconnected with shortcuts along the way. Littered throughout the various dungeons are obstacles that you will need either a certain character or an element embedded into a rune lens to get past. I enjoyed the simplicity in the design of the dungeons, and didn't mind the backtracking that needed to be done, as there was no limit to the number of quests that could be undertaken at the same time, so it was easy to mop them all up in one go. Throughout the areas are items that you can collect from the environment, and the carcasses of enemies. It's important to note that your carrying capacity is extremely limited in the beginning. However, a service will later open in the village, allowing you to expand the number of items you can lug around. Where combat comes into play, each character has their own specialization that they excel in. CJ is agile with holster axes that can quickly cut a foe to ribbons. She also has the ability to dash past or away from the enemy. Garou wields a giant blade that can break enemy shields or return certain projectiles. It can also take out any large boulders that block the path. Isha is a ranged magic user who can break enemy magic shields or target out-of-reach foes with heat-seeking projectiles. During the battle, you can chain attacks together, and if done correctly, this will pause the action as the next character switches in to lay the smackdown on the foe. Characters are each assigned to a single button, which was fine in combat situations, but made exploration seem a little janky and sloppy, especially when you were attempting to reach ledges that seemed a step too far. When traversing the various hostile areas, you need to be careful of random battles that lock the camera and throw an onslaught of enemies at you. You will not be permitted to progress until you have defeated all of the enemies. In the early areas of the game, these are a piece of cake, but as you progress further, you are pitted against more dangerous enemies that can take out an unexperienced player. Speaking of difficulty, I didn't really ever find the game to be that difficult, as I always tried to complete as many of the side quests as I could, which in turn made me over-leveled. From the outset, there are no difficulty settings, so once you beat the game you can change the difficulty to hard at will whenever you are at CJ's house in New Neveah. For a game developed by a smaller studio as a companion title, the graphics really resonated with me. I enjoyed the detail to the pixel art in the characters and the additional emotes that played out over their heads to indicate how they were feeling during cutscenes. The constant breeze that blows through the valleys surrounding New Neveah, setting the flora into an eternal dance, made me want to just pack up and move there to enjoy a simpler life. Though there were some instances where the wind would blow trees into structures, and rather than knocking them down like a typhoon in Japan's summer, would cause the tree to clip through the environment, though this is a minor gripe. When you are introduced to any important characters, you will get a title card for them, with their full art on display, created by Junko Kawano, which had me really excited to see what the other characters she's designed for 100 Heroes will look like. The music was created by Hiroyuki Iwatsuki, who also did the music for Pocky and Rocky, which I reviewed earlier. I felt that overall the tracks fit the environments, but there weren't many that I would listen to outside of playing the game. Most of them tended to be ambient and atmospheric, such as that played in the lava ruins or high up in the snow peaks. If I had to choose a favourite track, it would be the Second Town theme. It has a whimsical, hopeful motive to it, and the repetition of the keynotes of a music box that's just been opened reminds me of the bass theme from Suikoden 2, which took the light motif of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising provides us with a small bite of what we are to expect in 100 Heroes, showing us a peppering of the 100 plus characters that may appear. As a companion game coming in at around 12 hours, I would highly recommend it for anyone that loves the Suikoden series, who is also anticipating 100 Heroes. The introduction of the characters, and the shadowing of a greater conflict to come in the future, led me to anticipate 100 Heroes even more. If you enjoy action RPGs, with a slice of Metroidvania in the spritzer, then you should enjoy this game. Do yourself a favour and play it now. You won't regret it. By the way, what have been your experiences with Kickstarter projects? Let me know in the comments. This has been Venoir with a review of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, played on Steam. If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe for more great action RPG content. As always, look after yourselves, and I hope to see you all again next time. Take care, and bye bye for now.